Hello again, everybody. Zach Attack is here with my WWE Raw review for tonight, September 10th, 2012. Very interesting and a very scary and sad Raw at the same time. First off, Raw tonight, pretty interesting Raw. Okay, Raw. Pretty good matches tonight. Probably some best matches I've seen on Raw in 3 hours. And it's heard some great TV-14 chants on TV-PG. And indeed, proving that Montreal is indeed bizarre Raw, which I'll get to in a moment. And of course, also, despite the Raw being decent, being the last one before Land Champions, ended up being mauled by a tragic scene involving Jerry Lawler, which I'll explain further down the program. So before we get to the rest of all, including, of course, the sad situation with Jerry. By the way, best wishes to him. Speed recovery to you, buddy. Talk about that later on, but first we kick things off with Bret the Hitman Hart returning to Montreal tonight for the first time in 15 years since the Montreal Screwjob. Bret Hart came out, standing ovation, because, like I said, this is Canada after all. There's a lot of chanting, including ole, ole, you know, ole, 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 ole. Bret gonna talk. Of course, Bret Hart was very excited about being back in Montreal to talk to the WWE Universe about, you know, everything that's happened, but the support. And all of a sudden, here comes CM Punk. Now, CM Punk, of course, we saw what happened last week with him and John Cena. And, of course, Paul Heyman coming in. So Punk's actions, beating crap out of Cena and walking out on Raw, have led the fans against them for most of the evening, which starting with tonight. WWE's been mad about Punk getting cheered, which he still has despite being a heel. If you want to get Punk to really get booed, WWE learned the right thing. If you want to get Punk heel heat, have him interrupt the King of Canada, Bret Hart, in Montreal of all cities. So Punk came out, interrupted Bret, talking about respect, lack of respect, but Punk not getting respected, blah, blah, blah. Also talk about what if Punk was in the WWE when Hart was still there, didn't leave for WCW or whatever. Punk would have beat Bret Hart. He might have gone to WCW too, blah, blah, blah. And Bret talked about putting him in a sharpshooter. And seeing that Bret and Punk were going to get into an altercation themselves. You know, Punk says that Bret calls himself the best there is, the one the best as will be. Well, Punk's the best in the world, of course. And, but the best thing about this segment was the fans. During Punk's long speech, you heard this chant. Now, reminder, this is Raw in Montreal on TV-PG. You heard this chant. Shut the fuck up. I love it, man. Look at it. Punk's finally getting some good heel heat, especially a shut the fuck up chant. During his speech, I was like, yay, TV-14 chant on TV-PG. But the best part was near the ending. Because Punk was ready to talk about things. Of course, Cena will be interviewed by Bret later on in the evening, because Punk's opponent. Punk wants respect he deserves. He'll champ longer than Bret. He'll beat up Cena. And he'll do to Cena what Bret is. A broken and loser. Broken shell of a man like Bret is. And of course, best part was after Punk left, we heard this chant, which we haven't heard in a long time. Asshole, asshole. I love it. TV-14 chants on TV-PG. Things like rebellion. You know? It's like a rebellion. So we should listen. First you had Fred Durst flipping off the camera at SummerSlam. Then you got Punk being chanting an asshole and being told to shut the fuck up tonight. So, there you go. WWE, listen to the fans. And of course, Fred Durst is a fan too. WWE Universe, what do you want to call the fans these days. So, there you go. Punk interrupts Bret Hart. Clears respect. Well, Punk disrespected Bret by interrupting him. When indeed Punk got told to shut the fuck up and was called an asshole. Love it. Now on to our first match, which was Drew and Kofi Kingston, the tag team champions, taking on The Miz and Antonio Cesaro. Of course, it was a champions match involving the tag teams against the US and IC Championship. We found out during the match the US Championship will of course be the United Champions. The number one contender will be determined in a battle royal. During the pay-per-view pre-show on YouTube, we would get a hint of who Miz would face for the IC Championship later on in the evening. And also we would also find out who would face Kofi and R-Truth also later on in the evening in a number one contenders match. During which, of course, as I mentioned at the beginning of this video, a sad moment happened during this match. That match for the number one contendership. So like I said, we had Miz and R-Truth taking on Cesaro and The Miz. Pretty good tag team match. Pretty good tag match. Pretty good opener. Miz and Cesaro took control for most of the match after an early wall by Truth and Kofi. They were on a wall at the beginning of the match, but then if we came back from break, Cesaro and Miz took over. And Miz is dominating most of the match. But indeed, Truth and Kofi get the victory with, of course, a Trouble in Paradise 1-2-3 victory for Kofi and Truth. Of course, we would find out who would face them later on in the evening. Now on to our next segment, which was a stupid one, involving the whole Sheamus Bro Kick thing. Because we saw what happened last week with Bro kicking Ricardo Rodriguez, ending up with the Bro Kick getting banned by Booker T on SmackDown. So tonight, they continue this investigation, as they called it, with having a clip of a court hearing with Otunga, Ricardo, and Sheamus. It's kind of a weird, stupid segment. Sheamus getting asked about the Bro Kick and stuff, and having some little bit quirky, funny things, but yep, shit. I like that. That kind of a TV-14 joke, another TV-14 thing. If you lip shit, what does your ass do? See, TV-14 jokes and TV-PG television. It's kind of a weird thing tonight. It's like the theme tonight. Anyway, so Sheamus saying he talk about being Irish and Jewish or whatever. And Otunga was questioning him, trying to act serious about this whole Bro Kick thing, about attacking people like Chad Bannon, Daniel Bryan. And apparently Sheamus did nail the Bro Kick twice this evening. First being a Bro Kick on the camera, which ended up with the camera going black as Sheamus sang a song. Hava Nagila. Like Hava Nagila, like that song. Well, the camera was still black for this whole stupid segment. We would see Sheamus later on in the evening wrestle and deliver the Bro Kick for the second time, despite it being banned. But that was, of course, after the match. So there you go. We'll see Sheamus later in action. Till then, we had our next match, which was a 6 Divas tag match. It was Caitlyn, the number one contender for the Divas Championship, teaming up with Eve, the woman that should have won the Battle Royal instead of Caitlyn. That was a botch ending, I heard. Teaming up with the Divas champ Layla against Beth Phoenix, Alicia Fox, and Natalya. It's kind of a typical Divas match. Of course, continue this whole Eve sportsmanship thing. You know, after a situation, Eve attacked herself in, nailed DDT for the victory. So, this whole Eve going sportsmanship thing, we saw what happened last week before Caitlyn shaking hands after their match, despite Eve picking up the victory, despite Caitlyn getting hurt. So, seeing this whole Eve thing getting weirder and weirder, but indeed, there's rumors about a triple threat, but it's not revealed yet. But as of right now, it'll be Caitlyn against Layla at the Night Champion for the Divas Championship. So we had they're three winning the matchup with a little help of Eve taking herself in. So we saw AJ and Punk having a little conversation about Punk hopefully not walking out again, because Punk would be in the match. There will be a Raw active match. Fans would choose between Jerry the King Lawler. This is before the situation that happened tonight. Randy Orton and Brodus Clay. And the fans chose Randy Orton. I thought it would be Jerry, but it ended up being Randy Orton. Anyway, this matchup till the end, it was a pretty good matchup. Pretty decent matchup between these guys. Punk, very interesting matchup. I don't think these two wrestled each other in a while. You know, if they've had other matches before. But this was a decent one on Raw tonight. Very back and forth action. Punk took control. Like I said, Orton was ready to nail on CM Punk's coffin. He had nailed the DDT. About to deliver the RKO. This is how the ending happened. So it's about to deliver the RKO. Here comes Dolph Ziggler coming from the back. And ready to attack Orton. And then Orton ends up getting punched, and I think he got RKO'd for his doing. But indeed, Orton did get a power slam on Ziggler. But then, of course, a double team with Punk and Ziggler attacking Orton in the corner, which propelled Jerry King Lawler in his wrestling gear, just in case he was going to wrestle, to come in and help Randy Orton, which led to an impromptu tag team contest. Randy Orton teaming up with Jerry King Lawler against CM Punk and Dolph Ziggler. Now, Jerry King Lawler did get some action against Ziggler most of the matchup. And Ziggler was mostly double teamed by Orton and Lawler because, of course, Punk once again walked out on his tag team opponent in the match. Because during the match, Paul Heyman came out. And they were talking and they walked out together, causing, of course, Orton to nail the RKO on Ziggler. Without no partner, Ziggler lost the match in a tag team match against Orton and Jerry. Orton will face off against Ziggler and Night Champions, one of the very few non-title matches at the Night of Champions. Vicky was very mad about Punk talking during the matchup with Heyman, which caused, of course, Ziggler to lose the match for the team. But, of course, Jerry was probably disappointed he didn't get his hands on Punk. Punk, of course, avoided action yet again by walking out with Heyman and not saying a word to Matt Striker besides saying, "I am a Heyman guy." He said it last year, said it again. That's what I say about that, so there you go. Now, we would see what happened with Kane and Daniel Bryan throughout the evening. They had the little thing last with the hugging out, turned into an impromptu fight. They're trying to make this whole anger management thing work out, so they had them put in a match, teaming up together against the primetime players. Then we, of course, later on in the evening. But first we had Heath Slater coming out, demanding a rematch against my boy, my man, Zack Ryder, after losing last week to Ryder. Well, Ryder said, "Well, Heath, you're not going to get a rematch against me tonight. I'm hearing they may end up wrestling for that championship during Night of Champions, but it's nothing official yet." But Ryder said, "You're not going to be facing Ryder. You'll be facing Ryback." And Heath did have some offense against Ryback. But, of course, Heath was just like the others. Despite offensive moves by Slater, including a little DDT on Ryback, no pain, no gain for Ryback, as, of course, Heath became just another victim, eaten up alive. But the monster that is Ryback. Big victory for Ryback. Feed him more. Indeed. Now, on to our next match, which led to, of course, one of the saddest things of the evening, which was, of course, Kane and Daniel Bryan teaming up in a number one contenders match against the primetime players who assumed they were the one-on-one contenders until they had to face off against Kane and Bryan and being forced to team together because of the whole doctor thing. I'll talk about the match itself, and I'll talk about what happened during the match after the match. So we had Kane and Bryan teaming up, and ended up, we thought they were going to break down immediately with Bryan tags slapping each other around, but primetime players mostly were cohesive. I thought primetime players were definitely going to win this match. They, of course, proved they are a team, not just some fourth team. And it was a great team up, and I like the primetime players, you know. I wish they should have ran for the titles. I think they have a good chance of finally beating Truth and Kofi at Night of Champions. They had a good chance of it if they would have got the win in this match. And they had good tag team moves. Again, I like these guys. Probably one of my favorite tag teams. One of the very few good tag teams. Probably the only good tag team in WWE. But, of course, we all know that didn't happen. Kane was dominating most of the match after being tagged in himself. But then Daniel Bryan, as Kane was dominating, Bryan tagged himself in. Kane looked mad and chokeslammed Daniel Bryan. On top of Darren Young, 1-2-3 victory for Bryan and Kane. which means Daniel Bryan and Kane will face off against the tag team champions of Kofi and Truth. But then, of course, despite that, it was marred by, of course, an incident during the match. Now, I saw people's heads turning during the matchup. I was like, what happened? I thought there was a fight or something. I thought a fight broke out, because this is Canada, you know, and fights can happen in the crowd. They're more exciting than in the ring, like I saw at Bellator one night. Anyway, indeed, they weren't going towards a fight. Jerry King Lawler passed out tonight at the announcer's table. It wasn't storyline. It was real as real can get. Jerry King Lawler was weirded out by a stretcher. They took it to a local hospital, gave him CPR, and as of this video, he is currently breathing on his own, and his heartbeat is racing on his own as given by updates throughout the medical call. There was little or no commentary throughout the rest of the evening in respect to Jerry Lawler. But indeed, Godspeed with you, Jerry. Speedy recovery to you. Best wishes to you. Prayers and thoughts go out to Jerry Lawler's time. Recover, baby. Speedy recovery to you, Jerry. Best wishes to you, baby. So there you go. Jerry Lawler passed out. Sad to see that. And like I said, he's currently breathing on his own. They're probably going to update throughout the week and night on WWE.com and other social media outlets. So keep posting on that. Now, as the intense situation of Jerry Lawler weighing around the entire arena, on with the show with, of course, little or no commentary throughout the evening, which continued with Alberto Del Rio taking on Tyson Kidd. Tyson Kidd got an upset over Tendai. I thought, maybe he'll win. But I knew he was going to not because Alberto needs advantage for his match against Sheamus this Sunday. Tyson did have some offensive over Alberto in this decent matchup. Even there was a sharpshooter on Alberto. But indeed, Alberto did indeed get the victory with a cross-arm breaker in an okay matchup, sending a huge message to Sheamus, of course, without the rope kick for this Sunday. Now, on to our next match, which was, speaking of Sheamus against David Otunga, stemming from the whole court thing earlier this evening. Otunga was indeed getting his butt whipped. It ended up being in a Texas Court Relief for the second week in a row, nailed by Sheamus. Sheamus has been using that move for the last 2 weeks. And even though he won with the Texas Court Relief, after the match, he bro kicked Otunga. I mentioned he did it twice. He broke at the camera during the court thing, and he bro kicked after the match with Otunga, which prompted AJ to come out and talk to Sheamus. But then Booker T came out and said that if Sheamus was to use a bro kick again until this investigation is over with, to determine whether or not the ban on bro kick is permanent or temporary, if he uses it again, he'll be stripped of the World Championship. So there you go. Stripped of the title. Strict move by Booker T. Now, Kane and Bryan fought backstage. Trying to think of a team name, but of course they'll be teaming on the Kofi and Truth on Sunday. Speaking of trying to figure out who would take on champions, the list for the next match. Cody Rhodes against Rey Mysterio. Now, these two have wrestled many times before. In a pretty good matchup, pretty fun match. Cody Rhodes and Rey Mysterio, despite the magnitude of the situation with Jerry Lawler, they indeed got into a pretty decent matchup. Mysterio was indeed going to deliver the 619. Cody Rhodes ended kind of a decent matchup. Back and forth match between these two, which ended with, of course, Mysterio trying to nail 619. But then the Miz came in, distracted Mysterio long enough for Cody Rhodes to nail the Crossroads 1-2-3 victory for Cody Rhodes. After the match, Miz came in and was ready to attack Mysterio with the Skull Crushing finale. But then Cody Rhodes came in with the Crossroads on the Miz, grabbing the IC Championship. I smell a triple threat for Sunday. Although it's not official who will face Miz, I'm guessing it will be a triple threat match between Miz, Cody Rhodes, and Mysterio. Probably will be announced probably on WWE.com or on SmackDown. So there you go. Rey Mysterio loses to Cody Rhodes thanks to help from the Miz. But the Miz gets a Crossroads for his helping. And of course, Ice Mill triple threat, Cody, Mysterio, Miz, IC Championship, 9 champions down the main event. Now on to our last segment, which involved John Cena being interviewed by Bret Hart. Now I mentioned that Montreal Noise was all award. And here's proof. When John Cena came out to be interviewed by Bret Hart, he got booed out the building. He even got some "You Can't Wrestle" chants. by the fans, but they got cheered after he respected Bret Hart by being respectful. Because Bret Hart said, this whole situation between you and Punk, Cena, reminds me of my situation with Shawn Michaels 15 years ago. Had mutual respect for each other, but then Shawn got cocky and thought of himself and ended our friendship, in and out of the ring, and turned into his intense rivalry. Kind of almost the same thing with Punk and Cena has been doing, with Punk being compared to Shawn Michaels. He being called a phony by Bret. That caused Punk to come out saying, phony? Cena's the bigger phony. You know, respect him. I'm the champion. And that's what Cena says. Punk, you won't respect because you think with the championship, you automatically get it. You earn respect. Blah, blah, blah. He's a liar and a scumbag. And he likes Montreal for being honest. And Cena told Punk the honesty in English and French. So Punk's like having an identity crisis, according to Cena. Cena's like, oh, Punk, you're supposed to be the voice of the voiceless. And all this, you want change, but now you want to be a star, but you can't find your own identity. You're stealing things. You're stealing Macho Man's move. And everything, blah, blah, blah. Even Punk said he's better than Macho Man, and better than Stone Cold, and better than Bret Hart, and yada, 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 and better than Stone Cold, too. And Cena talked in French after calling Cena Punk being in an identity crisis. And he called Punk a son of a bitch. That's stupid. They bleep bitch, but they bleep ass. And Cena looked mighty intense and led towards a possible confrontation physically between Punk and Cena heading towards their match. Punk tried twice to nail Bret Hart, which ended with Bret Hart punching Punk out of the ring, ending with Bret Hart and Cena raising their hands. I just hope Cena doesn't win a Night of Champions, man. It was like weird. But bizarre war, like they booed John Cena, then they cheered John Cena, especially when Punk started talking smack to John Cena, especially Cena speaking in French. So it is indeed bizarre war. 1 minute they boo Cena, then they cheer him. So there you go, kind of a bizarre and sad war this evening with TV-14 Chants. Matches made for Night of Champions, possible matches being hinted. And of course, the sad, tragic situation with Jerry the King Lawler. Like I said, best wishes to you, Jerry. Speedy recovery to you, baby. Get well soon, Jerry. Speedy recovery, man. Get well soon, King. That is it for my Raw review tonight. See you all later. Get well, King, like I said. Been a text for a new review from Zach. See you later. Get well. Yeah.